Great seeing you here again. We are still talking about the PMBOK 7 tailoring models, methods and artifacts. We're in the part where we describe the models, the methods and the artifacts. And here we are looking at the data gathering and analysis method, specifically to those methods that are business related. So we're looking at the methods that are typically used in a business environment or to describe the business elements of the project. But before we continue, don't forget to click on the subscribe button, click on the bell button, and every time we have a new video, YouTube will inform you about it. So let's have a look at the different elements. And we're looking at the first item, the first method is what we call, or two methods, are alternative analysis and benchmarking. Alternative analysis is about identifying alternatives to different solutions, and it is important in project management. We want to find different options because they provide us alternative solutions that we can compare and we can find the best solution possible. Another element which is important in business is benchmarking. We want to see how are we doing, but we also want to see how are we doing relative to our competitors. We want to evaluate how our products are doing, what's happening with our processes and practices, and it's important to compare them with similar organizations and identify best practices. And we find ideas for improvement, and also they provide the basis for measuring performance. The benchmarking that we want to reach, we want to have a certain relationship, a certain output of our products and our services, and we can evaluate this based on benchmarking. Two other elements are what we call the assumption and constraint analysis. Assumptions are basically elements that we assume to be correct, and we put them in the business case and in the project charter. We assume that a certain event will happen or that we will have certain methods or certain tools at our disposition. We consider these elements to be true, but we are not certain that they will be true, and we don't even have a proof that the assumption is true. We may have an indication, we may have some ideas, but we are not really sure. The fact that we make an assumption can be later turned into a risk if the elements or the assumptions we made turn out not to be valid. We also look at constraints. Constraints are limiting factors that affect project execution, programs, processes, portfolios, and of course their success. Constraints will tell us what we can do and what we cannot do, and we have to work within those constraints to make or to complete the project successfully. The last element that we have here is the very well-known SWOT analysis. We look at internal elements, so we look at the strengths and the weaknesses. So the strengths are the elements that we have an advantage over our competitors, where we look at the weaknesses. These are things where we are weak compared to the other competitors, and we have to develop, we have to work into our strengths, but we have to understand what our weaknesses are. External, we may see opportunities, but we also can see threats. We can see opportunities when we look at the market. Where do we have possibilities to penetrate the market or to get a better share? But there are also threats from the regulations, competitors, and other external elements that are in fact around us. Let's have a look where we see those methods. We look at the data gathering and the analysis methods. First of all, the alternative analysis and benchmarking. We use them in planning, project work, delivery, and in uncertainty. We also have the assumption and constraint analysis, which is typically applied in the performance domain of planning and delivery, and the SWOT analysis, which is applied in the performance domains of planning and uncertainty. So that was it for this video. Don't forget to click on the subscribe button, click on the bell button, and every time we have a new video, YouTube will inform you about it. Thank you very much, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in our next videos. Bye bye.